Want your first trip to LA to be epic? If you've got 3 days in LA, you've got to see this video.
LA is the nation's second largest city. Angelinos pride themselves on their diversity, uniqueness, and creative attitudes.
So what else is there to do besides taking selfies with palm trees? In this video, I want to share my perspective of how to have a perfect 3 days on your first trip to LA. Get yourself packed and get over here. LA is so big and there's just so many things to see. So for this first timer's itinerary, I'm putting together a plan that'll minimize driving and the amount of time you're spending crisscrossing around town.
Is it possible to see celebrities in LA? Of course. Will you see one of them on the expensive celebrity bus tours? Probably not. Instead of going searching for stars, I'd recommend a first-time visitor to LA to experience locations you've seen on TV and in movies for years. Since pop culture icons are seriously all over town, let's focus on the neighborhoods of Beverly Hills, West Hollywood, and Hollywood. Start your first day waking up in one of the most fun and fashionable neighborhoods in the greater LA area, West Hollywood. WeHo is a city within Los Angeles County that prides itself on diversity and creativity. From the world-famous Sunset Strip to Melrose Place and Boys Town, WeHo has something for everyone. It also has many trendy coffee shops and brunch restaurants to elevate your morning. I'd suggest making your way to Verve Coffee on Melrose for a coffee and breakfast sandwich and good vibes. Close by is one of the best avocado toasts you'll find in LA at Bravo Toast. Get a workout in at your hotel or at the Equinox on Sunset Boulevard with all the influencers and TikTokers. WeHo is a ton of fun in the evenings, so we'll be back here later in the day. But first, we'll head to do some shopping at the Grove. The Grove and adjacent farmers market are not your typical shopping mall. The Grove is designed to look like you're walking through the streets of an old-fashioned downtown, complete with a trolley that you can ride with your kids. Grab a bite from one of the many grab-and-go eateries at the farmers market like Nana's Empanadas, or get a sit-down meal at Dupar's Diner. For more shopping and culture, we'll head down the street to our next stop, the city of Beverly Hills. I imagine most everyone is familiar with the name Beverly Hills, but I think often people are really surprised to see what it's actually like. This small city is just west of West Hollywood and is actually mostly flat. First, grab lunch at Nate and Al's on Beverly Drive. This Beverly Hills staple has been serving up deli-style sandwiches and breakfast for more than 77 years. Next, walk over one block to arguably the most well-known street name in LA, Rodeo Drive. This street is marketed as one of the world-class shopping streets, like Fifth Avenue in New York City, or the Champs-Élysées in Paris, or Oxford Street in London. There's seemingly endless high-end retail here, but it's basically the same stores that you can find at most upscale malls in America. The commercial part of the street itself is only 3 blocks long, running from the Beverly Wilshire Hotel at one end to Santa Monica Boulevard at the other end, and attracts wannabe models and tourists who are willing to wait in long lines to go into the stores. If you come at Christmas time, the street is decorated with thousands of lights and has a great holiday season kickoff concert with live music and fireworks. If you walk a few blocks away from the Beverly Hills Central Business District, you'll see the Beverly Hills sign at the Lily Pond. This is a great photo op, as is Beverly Drive and Cannon Drive, for those sought-after shots with the palm tree-lined streets. It's fun to walk around the flats to see all the big houses just north of Santa Monica Boulevard and the Central Business District, including the Witch's House at the corner of Walden and Carmelita. I'd also suggest going for a walk on the beautifully manicured trail that runs parallel to Santa Monica Boulevard from Doheny to Wilshire. You'll pass through a rose garden and a desert garden. If you cross Wilshire, you can grab a quick bite or a drink at the Rooftop by Jean Georges on top of the Waldorf Astoria Beverly Hills, which is right next to the Beverly Hilton, home of the Golden Globes. Let's head to our next stop for more movie business fun in Hollywood.
This is the last place a local would go to, but it's definitely popular for tourists.
This neighborhood is the namesake of the American film industry and is home to award shows and studio backlots where the TV and film magic happens. You can walk the Hollywood Walk of Fame to try to find some of the names of your favorite entertainers forever memorialized on the sidewalks of Hollywood. You'll also want to see the renovated Hollywood and Highland Complex, now known as Ovation Hollywood, which is where the annual Academy Awards are held. From the archway, you can get a pretty good view of the Hollywood sign in the distance. Next door to the Dolby Theater is the TCL Chinese Theater, a Hollywood landmark that has hosted premieres from some of the biggest films in history, dating back to the 1930s. Today, it's a multiplex cinema where you can see new releases in IMAX. Since it's getting late, grab dinner at Beauty in Essex. You enter the restaurant through what looks like a pawn shop before arriving in the trendy dining room and patio. Share a few dishes with your travel buddies and a cocktail before catching a touring Broadway show at the Hollywood Pantages. Around the corner from the theater is one of the architectural gems of Hollywood, the unique Capitol Records building. If you're not into Broadway, check out some of the other music venues in Hollywood or West Hollywood, like the Hollywood Bowl or the Troubadour, to catch a concert. To end your night, head back to West Hollywood and grab a drink at spots like EPLP, Harriet's Rooftop, or the Abbey. If you go to EPLP, get the waffle fries. You'll thank me later. You can't come to LA without seeing the Pacific Ocean. On your second day, I'd suggest heading to the beachside neighborhoods of Santa Monica and Venice Beach. Start the day with some coffee and what I think is the best toast in LA at Tartine Santa Monica. This restaurant is very popular and quite unique in that it operates in a former church sanctuary. If the line here is too long, head over to Time Cafe and Market for a great breakfast. It might be a bit cloudy in the morning from the marine layer, so while you're waiting for the sun to come out, head over to Montana Avenue to browse the shops. At the western end of Montana Avenue is Palisades Park at Ocean Avenue, which sits on top of the bluff overlooking the Pacific Ocean. This is a pretty spot to picnic or do an outdoor workout. People walk their dogs here and stop to listen if someone's playing live music. On a clear day, you can see Malibu and Catalina Island from up here, as well as the Santa Monica Pier with its Ferris wheel and roller coaster, our next stop. I don't think you can skip the pier on your first visit. Since many visitors to LA come from places not near large bodies of water, the pier certainly is a novelty. There are a few good food places for lunch on the pier, like Pier Burger, or really any of the vendors selling a churro. Churros are long, doughy cinnamon sticks if you haven't seen one before. Stick your feet in the sand and feel the year-round cold temperatures of the Pacific Ocean. You can rent bikes on the pier or just go for a walk along the oceanfront path, which stretches from the Palisades to the north to Marina del Rey in the south. To get back to downtown, you could take one of the several pedestrian bridges over Pacific Coast Highway. I'd suggest skipping the 3rd Street Promenade since post-pandemic, many of the retail and restaurants have moved out. Instead, we'll head down the coast to our next stop in Venice Beach. Venice has long been portrayed as the counterculture hub of Greater LA. While I don't necessarily agree with that label anymore, this beachside neighborhood certainly sports a carefree vibe. Take a stroll down the world-famous Venice Beach Boardwalk to see the wide sands, colorful oceanfront buildings, and eclectic mix of shops and street vendors. Muscle Beach attracts bodybuilders from all around the world to work out on the sand. The Venice Fishing Pier is at the south end of the beach and gives a calmer, overwater view than the Santa Monica Pier. The Venice Skate Park is entertaining to watch pros and novices try their tricks on the sand. Street performers attract crowds near the photogenic Venice sign that hangs over Windward Avenue. Away from the beach are the Venice canals. These waterways date back to the beginning of Venice when developer Abbot Kinney wanted to create a slice of Europe in Southern California. The lots on the canals are some of the most sought-after real estate now that the canals have been restored. One of my favorite parts of Venice is a few blocks away on a street named for the developer, Abbot Kinney Boulevard. There are a few boutique shops mixed in with more well-known brands on this pedestrian-friendly street. It's fun to spend an afternoon wandering the street, popping into various shops and cafes. Grab dinner at Gelina or at the Butcher's Daughter. Gelina has a separate takeaway walk-up counter if you can't get a reservation, which has really good food too. The Butcher's Daughter is a vegan-friendly restaurant with a beautiful dining room. Set an alarm to remind yourself to watch the sunset. One of the things that I've appreciated more since moving to California is the free nightly awe-inspiring show as the sun dips below the horizon over the mountains and ocean. Enjoy the moment to pause and appreciate the sunset and beautiful colors from a rooftop, or Palisades Park, or a cozy spot on the sand. To end the night, grab a drink at one of the really fun bars like the Bungalow, the Misfit, or Esther's Wine Shop in Santa Monica before heading back to your hotel. Los Angeles is nicknamed the City of Angels, and for your last day, I'd like to show you why. For this, I'm sending you downtown. Start the morning by grabbing breakfast at one of the vendors at Grand Central Market. There are a couple places open early to grab coffee and a breakfast sandwich, like Egg Slut. Check out the other food vendors in the market for tasty treats like these donuts that are cream-filled and topped with strawberries. The market is one of the great treasures of downtown and is worth a stop at all times of the day. Across the street from the market is the Angels Flight Railway. This is the shortest operating railway, traveling about 100 feet up the hill over the course of about a minute. This $1 ride has been in operation since 1901, and these days attracts tourists to experience the bright orange coaches and wooden interior. The railway has been featured in movies and is a symbol of the downtown financial district. Next, head to Olvera Street, the historic first settlement of Los Angeles in the 1800s. Wander the Mexican-style market for interesting blankets, hats, t-shirts, and other souvenirs. You can even walk through the oldest remaining house in LA, which dates back to the 1820s. For more on Olvera Street, check out my Historic LA video, which I'll link below. Across the street is the Los Angeles Amtrak station. LA's Union Station has been featured in many movies and recently hosted part of the 2021 Academy Awards ceremony. You can catch Metrolink trains here, as well as long-distance Amtrak and the regional Surfliner train, which has service to San Diego, Santa Barbara, and San Luis Obispo. Grab lunch at a landmark LA lunch counter, Philippe's the Original. This downtown staple has been featured on many Travel Channel shows over the years for its fantastic French dip sandwich. It took me a few years to get over here after moving to LA, and I don't want you to make the same mistake I did. Go there on your first visit.
The sandwich was really good, the people are really friendly, you gotta come here.
If you're coming to LA during baseball season, you can't miss catching a Dodger game at the famed Dodger Stadium. This venue has hosted World Series, concerts, and countless other events since its construction in the 1960s. After the recent renovations, there are plenty of food options beyond your standard ballpark hot dog and beer. The multi-level stadium has great views of the field and the hills beyond the outfield. The stadium is built into the hillside, which makes for some interesting hiking to get from your car to your seat. Even if you're not a Dodger fan or a baseball fan, I think most visitors to LA will appreciate the history and experience of a game at Dodger Stadium. There's a really nice view of downtown from the ballpark with all the lights on post-game. Before the sun sets, hike up to Griffith Observatory to take in the view. This observatory was built in the 1930s on the south face of Mount Hollywood as a research planetarium. While the telescopes are still in place, the site today is featured in movies and TV shows and known by tourists as one of the best viewpoints in LA. There's several easy to moderate hiking trails in the park, including the Mount Hollywood Summit Trail, if that fits your schedule. You can also check out hikes like Runyon Canyon, which is a short drive away and closer to Hollywood. Off to the west is the Hollywood sign, towering over the LA basin. The sunset is just beautiful from up here, with the golden hour rays reflecting off the observatory dome. On your way back down the hill, stop in at In-N-Out Burger to experience this beloved Southern California meal. Get those fries animal style. There is no singular way to experience LA, and the vastness of the city can certainly make planning for your first visit feel so overwhelming.
If you have more than 3 days to spend in LA, check out my LA playlist or watch one of these videos popping up next.